You know, the world could always use more heroes.
We've changed from Domino's Pizza to Domino's, because we're more than pizza. Taste what else we have to offer and order any of our specialty chicken.
What is going on, everybody? It is time for Overcast. Sorry if you got a little ad there. There was a window in the background that had an ad. It is Overcast episode 009 today. As you see, I'm running solo. I was in communication with Chris. I wonder if something has happened to his internet connection. So if we get him back in the middle of the show, I will definitely let you know. So anyway, thank you again for joining. I'm Frosty as always. Remember to follow the show on Twitter at Overcast Show, our blog page, which is theovercastshow.blogspot.com, and also our parent studio, which is frozenfoxradio.com. And from this show forward, we should be on iTunes, so I will be posting that information. So be on the lookout if you want to listen to the audio version of the podcast. There we go. So that brings me to usually what we would do, the segment of what have we been up to, and I guess I can just tell you what I've been up to. I've been borking my phone. That's one thing. I'm a Windows 10 phone insider and almost bricked my phone a couple times, I think, this week. I think I got it back. So hopefully that. In gaming, haven't been really doing a lot. I've been working with a new guild in World of Warcraft. Me and my wife joined one. And so we are trying to get that off the ground, and I'm working with them to get the PvE side of their guild rolling along. So we shall see what happens with that. Other than that, there is nothing else really in gaming that I've done. I need to get back into some console games probably today. So I really need to get to the Witcher law school semester is about to start in the next few weeks. So we'll see with that. Other than that, it's just hot, I guess. I don't know where everybody else is at, but man, down here in the southeast, it is hot and humid, just exactly as you would expect it. Anyway, with that aside, what I've been up to, I'm going to roll on into what has been going on in the last, I would say in the last week, because that's usually, or two, what we've been doing. But this time we're going to have to kind of reach back a little bit further. I'm going to go ahead with some of the older gameplay and things like that we've been talking about. I see in the chat, no TF2, no. I haven't played Team Fortress 2 for a very long time, actually. The only time I ever played it was on the Orange Box when I had it on the Xbox 360. So I have not played it for a very long time, sadly. Anyway, let's get on to what has been going on. I'll start with some of the more current news. Some of the more current news I'm going to go ahead and say has been great. Something we thought we might not get until Gamescom. But, I mean, I guess I could see it with San Diego Comic-Con coming up. They said, hey, here's our chance. So they jumped on it, and they said, here's Soldier 76. Boom. Great story. It's, I loved his backstory. I like how they did the kind of graphic novelish story of him, where he came from, how he was the leader of Overwatch, and, Overwatch was kind of obliterated, and then now he's hunting everybody else that took down Overwatch, and he's hunting them down. So I thought that was really neat. It's kind of like the Tracer video they did at BlizzCon, and I really hope that they do more of these for the heroes, because the heroes are kind of like, for me, that's where we have I don't know what to call it. That's where the hook is for me, because these heroes all have such interesting stories and things like that. I think that what we could have here with this is a great story. Now, I'll get to something else that might kind of tie into that in a second. But something that happened, or something that showed up in the video for the backstory, I'll show you right here, is this shot right here from the video. And some people on Reddit have been pointing out different things about this video. One of the things that's interesting about it to me is, of course, we have Soldier 76 there. And there's Reinhardt without his helmet on, and he looks pretty cool, actually. I kind of like him without his helmet on. He looks pretty bad, Now, in the background there, you'll see some people have theorized that this is Reaper before we have the current Reaper. We don't know anything about Reaper. I mean, a couple episodes back we talked about how he was kind of like the international man of mystery. So we don't really know much about him per se. So maybe we'll get some more backstory about him. how he became Reaper. And then other people also talking about how the woman in the foreground there, well, not the foreground, but kind of to the side, that is probably Farah's mother. So some interesting theories getting tossed out just because of this one frame that we've had displayed. But we shall see. Soldier 76 though, it was interesting to watch Reddit piece it together with his weapon and the cinematic, the original like kind of announcement cinematic, and calling him Statue Guy. We didn't know who he was, and then when the weapon was stolen, like we did we showed the picture last time, and all that, kind of putting it all together. Very very interesting. And as we see in the chat, and I kind of agree. You know, I wonder if Reaper was just like the one of those bad guys that helped take down Overwatch from the inside, one of those bad people that just destroyed it. Now, on to the next thing, because we're going to talk a little about 76 in the future in the next couple minutes. Something else happened. It was like I was on the cusp of it last episode. Now it's happened. The Tracer statue has arrived. As you can see over my shoulder here, you'll see the Tracer statue is right there. It is actually really, really awesome. It is super high quality, very, very detailed. Just very, very tiny details are all over it. I mean, like to the freckles on her nose, and all the sculpting around her chrono, I think it's called her chrono harness, and everything like that. The only thing there, if there's anything that I was disappointed about it, is that it does light up, but it's just the top orange part of the Overwatch logo that lights up. So I was hoping that like the blue part would light up, the lightning bolt kind of thing. But yeah, I'm not going to complain. It's actually really awesome, and you know I'm okay with that. I can live with that. It's very good. Now at San Diego Comic-Con, we are super excited to talk about what was just announced, which is the Reaper statue. If you're a Reaper fan, this is right up your alley. I was hoping for a Mercy one, but it didn't happen this time. I think it'll happen though. I mean, come on, Mercy's really popular, and you know, if you're listening out there, I would buy that in a heartbeat. Just so you know, just FYI. But the Reaper one looks pretty awesome. I'm not gonna lie, pretty sick. So we kind of just got like this rendering preview of what it's gonna look like right now. All right. So let me know what you think about that. It's pretty cool. I know if you're listening in the audio version, you're just gonna have to go hunt for the picture. It's on the SDCC swag video that Blizzard posted, so you can go check it out there. It's probably the best place to see it. That and all the other awesome stuff that half of us will probably never be able to get because half of them are exclusives. So we will just have to see what's going to happen with that. So I know my wife wants the Grom one, so gonna have to fork over the cash. But hey, the Tracer one is awesome. I mean, honestly, they did a great job with it, and if they release more of things like this, I mean, I'm all over collectibles like that, and especially if they're that high detail, they're high quality. So it's really cool though. Even like the styrofoam thing that Tracer came in had like the Overwatch logo on it, so that was pretty awesome. I love that. All right, now something else that was announced at Comic-Con, and we don't really have a ton about it yet, but it was just kind of teased, I guess, is that there's going to be a graphic novel kind of companion to go along with Overwatch. And that was that kind of goes along with what we kind of talked about, I think, a few episodes ago, about how we could convey the story of Overwatch. And this is the kind of stuff that I would be eating up, because I want they're all kind of like comic book heroes, kind of like Metzen said. Metzen from the beginning is talk to them like they're comic book heroes, you know, that you would see like from DC or Marvel or something. And that's what we've got. So we're gonna have this graphic novel that's gonna be, you know, about Overwatch, and we can hopefully glean a ton of information from it, and maybe we'll get some more reveals. Now I think I must have glossed over it. I didn't put it in my show notes, I guess, if it was. But the future, we know that they're going to push Overwatch really big at Gamescom. So we've got all these other characters. We know there's a few more from the official posters and things that have not been announced, such as like the cyborg ninja Raiden kind of guy, what people are calling Fat Bane, the gas mask pig guy, and you know, a couple other things like that. Characters, plus you know, the other gazillion that people have identified from screenshots of the cinematics and things like that. So the question is, what are we going to have at Gamescom? It's like, Well, are we going to have these character announcements? I think we're going to get like we probably would get a map. Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe we'll get more solid information on the beta, hopefully. But I, I don't know. I don't know. So we will just have to see. I'm excited for it though. I know we're going to get something. They've already been repping it hard that Gamescom's going to have something for, it's sounding like it's going to have something big for Overwatch. So we're just going to have to wait and see. I just want the beta. I mean, you don't even have to give me any more heroes or maps or anything. Just give me the beta and I'll be happy. I'll be plenty fine with that. And one of the other things that was announced, I don't have a screenshot of it. I can't even remember the source right now. I've just read the stories. A lot of discussion has been going on about FOV, about the field of view, field of vision, with the game. A lot of controversy about it being fixed at one time, and how it was fixed, and what it was actually, what degrees it was set to. It has been now confirmed that we will have an adjustable field of view, which I know made a lot more people happy. My wife has a hard time playing it, and I know that field of view has a lot to do with motion sickness and things like that, so maybe that'll help her and a lot of other people be able to play the game. So I'm excited for that. We'll just have to see. So in chat we're talking about the alpha release. I don't know, friends and family alpha. I mean, that you never know. I don't know. I haven't heard any rumblings of it being played internally in the alpha stage even yet. I just know that some people have gone there and played it periodically. But we'll just have to see. And I'm pretty sure anybody that is, if there was an alpha running, that they are in a pretty strict NDA right now. So it's on the very, very hush hush. All right, that's all the big news. I want to really get to the gameplay videos for the week. Well, not for the week, but for the last few weeks. I know that we're a little bit behind on that, but I want to make sure that we get through those. So let me roll right into these. We're going to start off with Winston, and Winston is one that has been, well, we've been hearing about him a little bit. I'm gonna play him in the background here, if I can get him to play. There we go. Now, one of the things that people pointed out right away is, I wish it was members of OverCast only. Now, one of the things that you can see in this video, and it's kind of not playing very fast, so I do apologize for that. What you can see is his lightning gun. It doesn't have a very good depth, and the depth on it made it to where you don't really know if you're hitting anybody. It's very, very flat in this version. It's been improved now. Blizzard has already posted on Reddit and everywhere else that they have gone ahead and said, here it is. It's been improved. The look of it. I guess I do apologize for the lag. I don't know why the video is playing so slowly. It might be because I'm broadcasting right now. So do apologize for that. But you can still see what the gameplay looks like. And yeah, Winston's pretty interesting. The other complaint that a lot of people had is about that left arm. It's kind of just always in the field of view, and it looks kind of like awkward. And yeah, I'd be fine if only when he has some special abilities using it. But I don't really think that it needs to be there, almost all the time when he's running around. And I'm glad that they went ahead and already told us that they fixed the lightning. The lightning actually reaches out and hits the people. You can kind of see now who it's targeting. Because before, with it, you didn't really have a range, so that was part of the issue. All right, now let's move on to. Now I wish Chris was here because I wanted him to be able to talk about this. I wanted him to be able to talk about Widowmaker. So this is Widowmaker here. And I'm just gonna get her video rolling here. Now, her video was a lot of fun to watch, especially if you're a sniper, because there were some sick kills in this video, and they were pretty awesome. I mean, there was like the one where they got the tracer going up the stairs. It was almost like, just I wanted to say like the line from like what is it, Call of Duty, where it's like, good night or whatever, but. It's really interesting to see her mobility and how powerful that sniper rifle was. I know, poor Chris, right? But poor Farah, honestly, in this video, like she got it handed to her. I think she died like 15 or 20 times, I swear, just by Widowmaker's hand. So I was kind of sad for her, but whatever. I play Mercy anyway, or that's who I would be playing. I don't play Mercy. I played Mercy a couple times at BlizzCon. What am I saying? All right, let me roll back into the next one. The next one we're going to get into is Bastion. I really want to talk about Bastion and his gameplay here. If I can get him to roll up here. And I want to get to an action part, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. So, Bastion was somebody we were wondering how he was going to be. Was he going to be, you know, what was his survivability going to be like? What was his mobility going to be like? How useful was he going to be? I've seen rumblings, people asking these kind of questions. This made me feel a lot better about playing it. I'd almost play Bastion after this video, actually. Because he gets around fine. He seems like, you know, he doesn't, he's not super weak. And like right here, you can see he just sets up a position and he just goes for it. And, you know, the turret mode is pretty effective. And I'm pretty happy about that, to see that the turret mode is pretty effective. You know, his regular kind of gun mode, I take it or leave it. And then when he goes like tank mode, it's pretty neat. Actually, he blows some people away. But the turret mode's pretty neat because you get him and like Reinhardt and some other people probably in a position you want to defend, and man, you're not gonna get through that very easily, unless you're Tracer and you drop a grenade behind them. All right, am I right? I mean that's what we've seen already. So, but I think it's coming up right here. We're gonna see him use his ultimate here in just a couple seconds. I'm gonna stretch. I'm gonna stretch here, but here it is right here. Yeah. So here you go. Throw your ultimate out here, and it's just like, let's just blow everybody away. And especially at short range, the rocket launcher in any game, we know that people are going to die, people are going to get blown up. And that's exactly what we saw happen there. And yeah, I'm actually pretty impressed with him. And I like his bleep bloop sounds that you could call it, I guess. So fun to see him going around. I'm sure we'll get to him in a gameplay, not gameplay, but a character spotlight coming up here pretty soon. All right, let's go on to the next one, and that is going to be with Zarya. If I can get her video to pull, here we go. So Zarya's got a big gun, and some people have talked about her big gun and how they don't really like it that much. You know, honestly, I don't have a problem with her gun at all. Because she's carrying this big old gun, you know she's carrying a big gun. It's just like in a lot of other FPS games, you know, when you're carrying like a really big, heavy machine gun or something like that, it's going to take up a little bit more of the screen. I don't think it's that intrusive overall, and I think it looks really good. I mean, I'm fine with it. I don't have any big issue with it, you know. And I do like to see, you know, her going out there and throwing out some serious damage. Because that's what she's doing here. And I don't know what is going on with my rendering, so I do apologize for that. I don't know what's going on with that. I've never had that happen yet before, so we'll just have to see. But hopefully you can get a good idea of what's going on. I'm going to pause the video here for a second. So here's her reload. Her gun kind of like, I don't know, kind of compresses back when it reloads, it looks like. But honestly, Zarya, pretty fun, cool looking character if you like kind of the big heavy weapons. Gets the job done. I don't see any issue with it, with what people have been saying about the big weapon. That's fine with me. I don't care. I'm all good with it. So we got one more. And we're gonna go to Soldier 76's gameplay here. And 76 is kind of interesting because he seems kind of like the quintessential soldier, and his abilities kind of go with what the quintessential soldier is. I mean, he sprints and he has a pretty big gun. You know, there's a joke out there. Sol does some great videos. I don't know what to call him, SOL, Sol, but he talked about this being a reload simulator and things like that. But honestly, I don't have a problem with it because I say I don't have a problem with a lot of things. I guess I think it's because I don't have enough time to experience it. I could watch the gameplay and not have a problem with things. Maybe if I play the game, my opinion will change on some things. But I do think that he could be a little bit different, honestly. I think that, yeah, he's a soldier, he's a vigilante, You know, he's got this big old weapon that he stole back from uh, wherever it was. Again, I think it was in some facility in Colorado or something like that. I think that's where it was. But when I take a look at 76, I do agree with some of the things that I've heard that he doesn't really have a lot of very inspiring abilities. And by that I mean one of his abilities is sprinting. So it's kind of like I feel like that was just kind of like, he can sprint. Okay, that's cool. Get around a little bit faster. I guess they didn't want to give him like a grappling hook or like another zooming thing like some of the other characters have where they can get around the map even faster. I just I see a vigilante or a soldier as somebody maybe like a grenadier having more grenade-based attacks or something like that. But I don't know. Yeah, we'll just have to see how it pans out. And they might change these things. I mean, heck, we don't even know where they are, you know, in relation to this. This could have already been tweaked a little bit. We know that animations, things like that, like a weaker tracer, yeah, he kind of like a toned down tracer maybe. That's what we're Dark saying in the chat. Maybe yeah, because he doesn't get around super fast like Tracer because she can zoom around, but he can still sprint around. So it's kind of like a Tracer point 0.5. This is like the earlier version of Tracer maybe. I don't know. Good point. Good point. I like that. So there's Soldier 76 for you. Take it or leave it. I'll see where it goes. Not my cup of tea. I'm just gonna have to see what other people do. Man, this is the kind of thing that makes me just wish that I could get my hands on the game and just play it. Because if I had my hand on the game, I could give you a really in-depth opinion. There's lots of in-depth opinions out there on YouTube and things like that from other podcasts and shows that are out there. You know, when I take a look at videos, though, I can see, I can make assumptions of how a character will play and how I would play the character. But just like a lot of other games, until I actually can get in there and play the game, I don't know how I'm going to play the character. I don't know how it feels. I saw characters like Reaper and things like that at BlizzCon. I played them. I didn't know how to play them necessarily, and my gameplay, differs from a lot of other people, I guess. Reaper's just not my cup of tea either. So I think the good thing about Overwatch especially is that you have a very wide variety of heroes to choose from. When you have this wide variety, you can kind of slot your game style in. And so we have, Soldier 76, who's kind of a run and gun, soldier. You got Tracer, who is kind of like a zipping around assassin soldier, I guess a faster soldier. And then you got people like Zarya, they're like the heavy weapons specialists, and of course then you have like high mobility people that can get around the map. You have Pharah with her jetpack and things like that. There's kind of something for everybody, and I'm really liking that there is a wide enough variety, and if you want to be Torbjorn, you can be Torbjorn and build turrets. So you can do, you do whatever you want. I mean, I know that like a lot of people pointed out, a lot of other games, Team Fortress 2, they have that wide variety of characters too. But the formula works. You give people, like a wide list of slots you can fit yourself into, and you'll find yourself where you want to be. I need more time in the game. I only played a handful of characters at BlizzCon. And, when you only play like one match or even not even a whole match of them, it's even hard then to get a good sense of how it really will play in your hands. So I really I like to analyze the characters and look at the gameplay, but I try to reserve some of the opinions on how they feel and things like that until I actually get into the game. So I'm guessing the next time I'll probably ever play Overwatch will be when I am at BlizzCon this year, and that's if I can even get into the gameplay area. That gameplay area is packed, and it'll probably be even more packed this year. Yeah, I see. Dark saying in the chat he hasn't played. Don't feel bad, man. I mean, half the people at BlizzCon probably didn't get to play. It was, if you were at BlizzCon last year, that line was super, super long. It moved really fast. That was the good thing about it. The matches were pretty quick, so people got in and out and in and out, but it was still really long. So I don't know. Hey, buy your ticket to Gamescom. You can go play there, I'm sure. They're going to bring a lot of PCs. But just make sure you register for the beta. We'll talk about that later too. But on with that. Enough with me talking about how I would or would not play any characters. Now, I think that I did not tweet out the hashtag AskOvercast this last week, so I do. That was negligent in that. If anybody has any questions for me this week, throw it in the chat. I'll see if I can answer in the next few minutes. While I revisit Winston. We saw his gameplay video a little bit, and Winston is very, I don't know, he's kind of unique. He's an ape, I guess you could say. He is our hero spotlight though for the week. So his real name is, well, Winston. Doesn't really have a name. He's just a monkey. And he is 29, so I'm a little bit older than him. And his backstory is interesting because he was part of a genetically modified gorilla race. Not race, just genetically modified gorillas. And they were living on what they called the Horizon Lunar Colony on the moon. And what the story says, a bunch of the other apes kind of like had an uprising, you could say, and killed the colonists, things like that, and just claimed the colony as their own. And Winston was like, I'm a super smart genius. I'm just going to build myself my own escape ship and get off this rock. And that's what he did. And eventually became part of Overwatch before, of course, its destruction and everything like that. And there you go. That's how we got Winston. His abilities are the Tesla Cannon, which we saw earlier, which for a second, I thought I forgot the ability's name, but I did get it right. Is the Tesla Cannon. That's the lightning one. The Tesla Cannon, like we've said, it didn't have the best graphics at first, but Blizzard very quickly quashed that and said, no, no, no. They posted a GIF to the Overwatch Reddit and said, here it is. You can actually see the depth of the lightning, who it's actually hitting, things like that. Makes it a lot better. So you got that. It's still pretty short range though, but it is a powerful electric barrage. You just kind of hold it down and go. He's got a jump pack, so he can jump through the air, and then when he lands, he does some AoE damage to the people around him. Not to mention the fact that you can also pop up his shield projector, and he can protect him and his allies. And in some of the gameplay videos, Winston just hops up on things like objectives or the payload, and he just like throws up the shield. And then you got like a rolling turret, because I think at one time in one of the videos, he had like his dome shield above him, and then like Torbjorn had a turret on the payload, and I don't know I can't remember if it was Bastion or somebody else. So you basically had like a rolling fortress with the payload. It's pretty sweet. Be a pretty good combo, not gonna lie. And his ultimate, of course, is Primal Rage. You saw it in the cinematic when his glasses come off or get broke or whatever. He basically just gets uber powerful, turns into a very, very angry monkey, and gets a huge melee attack bonus, I guess you'd call it. And then also it allows him to use his jump pack more frequently. I had to make sure I got that in there too. So he can only do those two attacks though when he's in that. So he puts the weapon down and he just rolls with it. So there you go. Let me see what we got here. Yeah, it's like berserker mode, right? Let me see. So while I was talking about Winston, question from the chat is, do you think the Torbjorn strategy would run around and get kills for scrap and only use and then use only for armor? So like a tank Torbjorn? I don't know. It's interesting what you would do with Torbjorn. I think that they kind of want to put him in that, I don't know, what do you want to call it? Team Fortress / every other engineer game, tribes building turrets. But I don't know. I don't know how I need to look and see how effective the armor is anyway. I don't know how much bonus it is, honestly, off the top of my head. I haven't researched it enough, so I will have to defer that question. And I don't have any other questions that I see here. But thank you for joining me for episode 9 of OverCast. It's been very awesome to have all of you here. Say a shout out to everybody that watches in the live stream. For Dark J01, of course. Thank you for the contributions in the chat. So next time, what are we going to be talking about? We'll probably be talking about, well, leading up to Gamescom and see if anything else comes out of San Diego Comic-Con. We'll just have to see if anything comes up with regards to any more swag that we can buy or Mercy statues. Hint, hint, Liz. Without, without any other news announcements, we'll just go on. We'll probably go some more in depth because we actually have we've run the gauntlet of gameplay videos at this point. So I'm gonna have to figure out where we're gonna go from here, because I think after San Diego Comic-Con we probably are gonna go quiet again. We can only hope that Olympia Washington writes some more blog posts about Overwatch news and things like that. Olympia Washington, I haven't seen her. I want to see a news report by her. She's got to be a real person, right? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe Blizz will put out a video of a news report by her. So that'll be interesting to see. But this is your every episode reminder to get out there and get on your battle.net and get your beta profile and settings all set up so that you can be part of the Overwatch beta, hopefully. Hopefully. They haven't said it's guaranteed, but nothing's ever guaranteed when it comes to beta. But if you don't do it, you're going to be left out in the cold. And that brings me to the end of the show. So remember to follow us on Twitter at Overcast Show, the blog page, which is theovercastshow.blogspot.com. You'll find a post of the YouTube link to this, show notes, everything like that. And remember to follow frozenfoxradio.com, which is our parent studio, so you can see this show, bios about our hosts and our other shows, and any other upcoming news or events. And hopefully you all have an outstanding week. Thank you again for joining me. This is Overcast episode number 009. The next one will be in 2 weeks, which will be the morning of the 25th. And I'm going to be racking my brain, and I'm going to have some good segments for you. I can't tell you what they are right now, but I have some good ideas that are in the works. So we shall see, and hopefully we'll have Chris back. I don't know, like I said, I don't know if his internet got messed up. He has had some internet issues in the last little while, so that might be what's been going on. I'm not 100% sure on that. He was here right before the show, I promise you. Anyway, Chris, I'm sure, will make his return then. Anyway, we'll see you again, same time, same Twitch channel on the 25th. And I will be tweeting out and looking for your social media questions as well. Thank you very much for joining me. This is Frosty signing off. I will catch you next time.